I have grandchildren who will likely be on this planet long after I'm gone, and frankly, their future scares me. We live in a world filled with overwhelming poverty, growing income disparity, increasing hatred and violence, and both human and environmental abuse. History tells us that neither totalitarian control or our capitalistic system is likely to solve the problems all around us. Where can we look for new answers to these old problems? Hi, this is Marlena Fiol from Becoming Who We Truly Are. Do you ever think about how you might reduce the suffering for those who'll come along after you? Or maybe reduce your own suffering right here, right now. Maybe we think that our leaders will someday stop fighting each other and they will eventually solve these problems for us. Or maybe providing occasional charitable gifts, especially over the holidays, it allows us to feel a little better about doing our part. No doubt, greater contributions will be required from many of us if we're going to reduce the enormous suffering we see in our world. But most of us know that's just not enough. In my search for examples of what showing up to make a difference might look like, I've spent years researching and writing about an extraordinary couple, Dr. John and Clara Schmidt. They were medical pioneers who dedicated their lives to the well-being of the poor and the underserved in Paraguay, South America. Based on public records, private documents, and lots of interviews about their 60-plus years of service, Dr. John and Clara are the protagonists of our recent book called. Their commitment to show up for others time and time again gives me hope. And I trust it'll do the same for you. Let me share a review of Called we received from Edgar Stöss, the former chairman of the American Leprosy Missions. Dr. John and Clara Schmidt accepted the challenge of treating people with leprosy in Paraguay, an often forgotten land of intrigue. When they were asked to undertake this daunting task, conventional practice was to provide victims of this dreaded disease with palliative care in an isolated colony. There was no known cure. Dr. Schmidt chose instead to pioneer a new and more humane treatment premised on home care surrounded by family. Before there was time to prove the merits of this innovation, he encountered such strong resistance from North American sponsors that it threatened to shut down his work. In the end, John and Clara's revolutionary model became the standard for leprosy treatment around the world. Now that's showing up for others. At the deepest level, this inspires me to open up my own heart and become more engaged in work that seeks justice and mercy for people in need. At a practical level, though, I'm reminded of what Thomas Merton said, and I quote, "To commit oneself to too many projects, to want to help everyone and everything, is to succumb to the violence of modern times." So where does that leave us? How do we know when to back up and when to show up? Here's how I answer that question for myself. I need to choose those issues that touch me most deeply, and that's where I cannot step back. That's where I need to show up and make a difference, even if it's just in my little corner of the world. What's your answer? You and I don't want to be the people who fail to show up when we are really and truly called to make a difference. If you found value in this brief program, please give it a thumbs up or hit that subscribe button on your screen. Also post any comments or questions you might have for me in the space below. In addition, just so you know, I'll be posting a new episode of this YouTube show each Tuesday at 6 a.m. Eastern Time. For further information on showing up to respond to the suffering in our world today, we recommend the following resources. A TEDx talk by Teva Sinicki clarifying that we can end poverty and why we haven't. A TEDx talk by Emmy Tamakaisen on the new normal, how we are becoming desensitized to violence. And for a deeper look at Dr. John and Clara's many contributions to our world, we recommend my memoir, Nothing Bad Between Us, as well as the epic true story Called, released in 2021. The web addresses of each of these are in the show notes below. And remember, we are together on this journey.